Peace family, it's Camson Oracle, one half of Remnants Gathering, and as you can see, I'm going to do a weekly reading, and this time I'm going to do a pick a card reading. I hope that this video finds you guys doing well, doing okay, even doing great, fantastic. You know, as we're going through these shifts, there are a lot of things that are being cleared and purged from the earth and from us as well. So we're not going live today, but I felt like this would be a great opportunity to go ahead and do the weekly reading for the collective consciousness and subconsciousness of those awakening. My tongue's tied, so see how we go do. Let's begin here. This is orange calcite. Okay, this crystal is really good for clearing energy. This is green aventurine. This is really good for calming anxiety, and this is tiger's eye, and this is really good for courage. So pick your pal based on the crystal that speaks to you. I'm going to give you a moment to pick that pal. While we are waiting, I want this reading to be potent. I really do. And I believe that the answers that you seek, you will get. So take a deep breath. Alright, so we're about to get started. Which one of these pals speaks to you the most? You're going to choose that pal, and then we're going to go ahead and get started with the reading. Alright, so we'll start with orange calcite. This particular deck, this is the message that these are the downloads, the information that you need to be receiving to help you on this journey of self-realization and awakening and healing trauma. So this will be the message for you if this deck spoke to you. If you still haven't picked, pause it and then come back. Okay, here we go. Tanzanite, which represents clarity. That's interesting because this crystal does help to clear things. Clarity. If you were called to this pal, this says to mean that clarity has been a challenge for you, that you have found yourself fluctuating between decisions, between making choices, not quite sure what to do. You've been feeling confused and unsure, you know, and with pulling this card, this lets me know that you are experiencing the opposite because of where your heart is desiring for you, for the path for you to take to gain the clarity that you need. You're gonna have to make some decisions. You're gonna have to make some choices. Don't allow fear to make you not make choices. Like, we all make mistakes. We all are bound to make a mistake somewhere, somehow. Even the most cautious of us, we make mistakes, and that's okay. But you would benefit from releasing the judgment and releasing the fear of the what ifs, because oftentimes the things that we fear, those aren't even the challenges that we face. You know, so if you've been avoiding making a choice for fear of failure or fear of making a mistake of that choice, then the most important thing for you is radical self-acceptance, and say, no matter how the outcome goes with this, I am going to make this choice, and I'm going to be okay. Either way, I'm going to be okay. I accept myself in all of my flaws, my insecurities. I accept myself. Radical self-acceptance helps to gain clarity, okay? And so this is what I feel for those of you who chose this particular pile of cards. All right, now the subconscious workings of those that chose this pal will be the next card. Hecate, which represents protection. This tells me that in your teeter-tottering back and forth between what should I do, what's the best decision, what's the worst decision, and not taking any risk, calculated risk. You want to use wisdom, but this tells me that you have a lot of protection actually that has already been allotted to you. It has already been assigned to you. You know, Hecate, for me, and I haven't built the relationship as close with her energy as I would like to, but she's been demonized in a lot of ways, like a lot of protective feminine forces. And so, you know, this tells me that you really don't have anything to be fearful of. Even if you have never heard of Hecate, her energy is with you and available for you to be protected on every side. Y'all, it is so important that we not believe, but that we intuit, that you know, and that you nurture down in your bones that I am going to be okay. I have spiritual protection. I have favor. I am a chosen one. I was called for this time. I'm here for a purpose. And because of that purpose, I know without a shadow of a doubt that I have divine protection. It seems that those of you who chose this path have been feeling very forgotten about and unprotected. And sometimes you feel like you just left out in the wind. Sometimes you feel like, you know, even growing up, maybe you didn't have the protection that you should have had as a child. Those of you that chose this path, I feel like to gain some clarity and to experience this protection, maybe you need to go to a moment in your childhood or maybe early adulthood as an adolescent, a teenager, a moment where you can remember where you were not protected. And go back to that moment, write a letter to yourself. Write a letter to yourself at that age, whatever age you were, whatever happened to you. And I want you to call on the protection of Hecate for you at that age. Like I said, you don't have to know everything about this energy, but this energy represents protection. And you're going to call on that protection. So basically what you are doing, we know now that we are multidimensional beings. We know now that there are always parallel realities in many different dimensions and levels of consciousness happening simultaneously. So by writing letters to our inner child, our younger self, or it could be yourself from 2 years ago, you know, we're able to time travel because of the speed at which thought moves. So write a letter, okay? Write a letter to the you that you know needed protection and maybe you didn't have it, or maybe you had it and you did something that did not allow that protection to be supportive and do what it was there to do. You know, you could have had protection and maybe you ran away from home, I don't know, and then something happened as a result of that. But this is very connected to why it's so difficult for you to make choices and to strategize and take calculated chances and risk in life and make decisions and choose paths, whether you think it's right or wrong. Like, don't allow yourself to be stagnant for so long. By you doing this is going to get the energy back moving and get you to where you're not stagnant anymore. So that was the PAL for those of you that chose the calcite. Now this is the green adventuring. All right, this is the message from Spirit for you. Libyan gold tektite, which represents manifestation. This tells me that you guys that chose this deck have been very specific as to what you want to manifest. You have been very specific. I mean, you've been doing the complete opposite of this power, where you are damn near micromanaging your manifestations on a microscopic level. Like, if you're trying to manifest a relationship, you have been very specific about what you want and don't want, and you have been very diligent and very disciplined for that manifestation to come. So this is really, really good for you guys. I feel like y'all are dreaming big. You know, I feel like you all are making plans. Some of these things may not be things that you're going to manifest really quickly, but it's just this deep impulse within you where you just, there are some things that you are sure that you want in your life, or some things that you are sure that you want to be banished from your life. But you all have been scripting, you all have been very specific, you all have been using affirmations and mantras, and that is so, so beautiful. You all have been very active as to the co-creation that is happening in your reality and in your life. And if that doesn't speak to you, it's okay. Take what does. But if you have not started doing that and you chose this POW, this means that this is absolutely what you need to be doing. Focus on specific manifestation. You want to script it. And again, you want to feel it. You want to feel it. Okay? And I'm being told that gratitude and just living in grace of all living things, and acknowledging the life force energy that is in everything, this is going to be really beneficial for y'all. So yes, continue to do what you are doing. If you haven't started, this was confirmation for you to start. And if you are concerned about, well, what if I manifest it and then I get it and I really don't even want it? Again, if was a fifth wheel, I'll be drunk. So, you know, basically everybody got ifs, you know, but this is what you are here to do. You are here to manifest. You all are natural manifestors. But because some of the things in your life that you know you manifested that are not serving you anymore, are not beneficial for you, for some of you, you haven't been using your full ability to manifest because of the ifs, the what ifs. Okay, so subconsciously, those that chose this particular POW, subconsciously, what do you want to communicate to them? Urzuli. Urzuli represents prosperity. This goddess is so special because, and even though I'm saying goddess, we can say divine one, we can say divine feminine energy, whatever resonates for you. But this particular energy right here, oh my goodness, like Urzuli helped us so much. And if you've never worked with Urzuli, I can share with you some things that you could use to create your own ritual. Some of this is based on Bobby Hemmett's ritual that he gave out for Urzuli, which was to take a small table. It can be a small table like what I'm using now for the reading. And you're going to get a white paper bag. You're going to get a string, a white string. And you're going to put some honey. Get some honey. You're going to write down what you desire to manifest, okay? And you're going to put it in the paper bag, put a dab of honey on it, and you're going to take the string and you're going to thumbtack it up under the bottom of the table, and basically where the bag is just hanging. So tie the string around the bag, however it works out. Write what it is that you desire to prosper into your life. And then the dab of honey. Honey is really good for attraction. Honey is really good for prosperity. And you know, honey, anything sweet, it could be candy. If you don't have honey, you can substitute it for candy. You want to put that in the bag. If you have anything pink or anything shiny, Urzuli seems to like those things as well. So you could even, you know, put a pink crystal in there, or it could be some jewelry or something. Be creative, you know. You always want to be creative with your rituals. And you're going to put it there and let it hang there. Don't touch it. Don't move it. If you want to light a candle and allow that candle to burn while you're doing this, or just light it when you come home, that's fine. You can do that as well. But I think we left it alone for about 2 weeks. And after about 2 weeks, we checked it. And, you know, we checked it. It's not like what we was wanting. The process was going to be in the bag. But we were so excited to just be liberated to be able to work with divine energies and co-create in our life. We were so excited. We was expecting we was expecting to see it in the bag. It didn't work out like that. However, after we did it, she came through. She absolutely came through. So with working with this energy, I would say make sure that you keep your word, do exactly as you are to do. You know, energies that help you to manifest prosperity, they're really big on you sharing it with other people, basically sharing your testimony, you know, giving gratitude and appreciation for whatever it was that you manifested into your life. So this is really good. Those of you that chose green adventuring, y'all ready to go. Like, y'all, it's go mode. It's go time. It is absolutely go time for y'all. All right. The last one, this is the tiger's eye, for those of you that chose tiger's eye. So let's see what message is there for you from spirit. Selenite, which represents spiritual awakening. Those of you who chose this pal, y'all are at a pinnacle. You are at a climax in your awakening. You are at a point in your awakening where you know that you have to do better. You know that you are being called to be more disciplined. You know that you are being called to enforce boundaries so that you can continue to nurture and cultivate the person that you are becoming. You know this. You are being given signs. Those of you that chose this pal, you're getting signs and synchronicities like back to back to back. Y'all are at a peak in your spiritual awakening. This happens to everyone. And sometimes at those peaks, our life changes really quickly, especially if you are pressing in. When you start to see people move around, just know life is a chess game, and you're going to see people move around, but you just want to make sure that your divinity, you know, the divinity within you is being treated as sacred by you, and that you're not allowing any other pieces on the board to stop your spiritual awakening. Don't allow anybody to hinder that. Don't allow anybody to scare you and make you feel like, you know, you gonna go to hell, or you didn't sold your soul to the devil, or something bad is gonna happen. Like, if whatever resonates with you, that is the divinity within you. That is source energy within you calling you to a certain path, or to a certain system of practices, or to a certain level of consciousness. Maybe to refine the love that you have for self. Maybe to challenge the things that have been presented to you as truth, and you like, I call bullshit. You know, y'all getting some pushback. Y'all have people around y'all that don't feel like what y'all doing is maybe beneficial or, you know, good for you to be doing. So if you have to make some arrangements to where, because a spiritual awakening is very sacred, and so if you have people around you like that, you know, you want to use the hamsa or the kamsa, you know, that's this symbol here. You want to use that. You want to use third eye protection. You want to protect your spiritual awakening from the energy of people who are anti the awakening. They may not know, and they may not be trying to be like that, but that's just what it is. And for those of you that chose this pal, I do feel like that's kind of what's been going on for you, and that energy is about to be cleared. But I want to say to you, when you reach a peak in your spiritual awakening like this, it is action time. It is action time. And for some of you, you may have to be a little bit more stealth about your spiritual practices, about your awakening. I feel like some of you try to tell the world, and you try to explain to people because you're excited, and you would like for other people to share in that excitement. You would like for other people to experience enlightenment. But those of you that chose this path, it's not a lot of people in your day-to-day life who can handle that. And, you know, in the words of Dr. Blind from Studying with the Functionary, he talks about religion and how it's for those who are mature in their consciousness, who are spiritually ready in their consciousness to be able to separate themselves from tradition and from religion. So you don't want to try to push this on people, because it can be very traumatic for people who this is not the divine timing for them to awaken. So as you are treating your own spiritual awakening as sacred, you must treat others' awakening as sacred as well, even if they do not agree, even if you feel like they're on a whole other vibration. That's okay. is still sacred. You know, every soul's path is sacred because it's their soul walking that path. And no matter how different it is than yours, it's still sacred. So you want to protect your sacred workings and the things that you are learning. And you might have to slide your ancestor also in the closet somewhere and hide it when people come over. There was a time when we had to do that. We don't do it anymore, but there was a time when we had to do that. Do whatever you got to do to keep a lot of energy from being mixed up in your spiritual awakening and maybe some of the practices that you are maintaining and learning. All right, subconsciousness of those of you. Trickery. And this is Anara, okay? This is Anara. And she represents trickery. I mean, just as it is. So I feel like with this card, it's like, yeah, y'all know how to use trickery when you need to. But when it comes to your spiritual awakening, like you want to be really pure about it and you don't want to feel like you got to do that. So I feel like that's why this is coming up. So this you are being called to a whole new level in the way that you handle yourself and in the way that you approach situations. So, you know, and I also feel like those of you that chose this particular pal, you have tricksters, the trickster energy around you. And usually what happens is when you reach a pinnacle in your spiritual awakening, certain phases that you go through and you reach this climax, there are these energies that come in and it's really to test you. So question everything. Come to your own realizations. Trust your intuition. Trust your perception. And again, if trickery in a way is not always negative, you know what I'm saying? But let's just say a form of trickery that you may be using. You may be doing candle magic and somebody might be like, girl, every time I come over here, you got all these different colored candles burning and they ain't even got no smell. It smell good. What you burning for? You know, and you might just, you know, be like, girl, I just really like that color. I don't know. I really like that color. Whatever. Okay, you kind of not really telling the whole truth. It's kind of trickery, but it's what's necessary to keep from putting a lot of different energy in your candle magic. So, you know, and don't be judgmental of yourself when you sometimes have to use these type of strategies. There's an art to war. There's an art to love. There's an art and strategies to everything. So don't be hard on yourself when you have to go into this energy. But I want y'all to also recognize that what led you on to the spiritual awakening was that you had a lot of trickster energy around you, and that actually like catapulted your awakening, and it made you start digging deeper and looking for information, you know. So the desire is to be, your desire is to be authentic and to be able to live your life out loud and authentically as possible, and to not have to go into any of this energy, and that eventually will come, but right now is not. So for you to just approach it in a very non-judgmental way, that's going to be beneficial for your spiritual awakening. So this is the collective reading for the week. Let me know what y'all think, like which one did you choose, what spoke to you the most, and why. If you want to get a reading, I'm getting ready to end this special, which was 30 minutes. It was the 30 for 30 with the 333 energy. I'm getting ready to end that. However, if you want to get a reading, just go to the website, fill out the form, you can read some testimonials. It's kind of been a crazy week, so I'm a little backed up. My schedule is a little full, but when it's meant to happen, it's meant to happen. And if I can get you booked, I will get you booked. So thank y'all so much for allowing me to do this reading for you guys. I hope that this gave you some clarity to help you in your manifestation so that we could have a very prosperous spiritual awakening. So yeah, that worked out really perfectly. All right. Thank you guys. And as we always say, may your third eye's just been kissed. Peace.